Live from the virtual iRacing Superspeedway, it's the turn down for what? Racing League Round 14 from iRacing Superspeedway. Wolf Pumps in the house. Good to have you boys here. Bottom Vols, as always, good to have you, ma'am. Bowling's in here. Green Fire ready to go, racing 80 laps of action from the 3 Mile Speedway in Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Coming into this race, Tristan Bailey leading the points, starting in the 17th position, beating Jordan Bain by just over 60 points, and then only 15 points between Jordan Bain running in the 2nd position. Bain starting 5th tonight, and then in 3rd you've got Josh Arnold. Tonight, Arnold, see if we can find him here in the running order. So many cars tonight. Josh Arnold sitting 6th right there in the number 22. Getting ready to start this race, brought to you by HMG Innovations. To my right, none other than Terry Radford. Terry, we're about to go green for 80 laps of action. How are you, my friend?
Super excited to be calling turn down for what? Never thought I'd be back here in the place that I started cutting my teeth, right here on Xbox. We find ourselves on iRacing, and no better than this speedway for round 14, Rick. I'm so excited. Let's take this green.
Pace truck peels off. Cars file down 2 by 2, 16 rows deep, waiting for the signal. There's the green flag, and we're racing at iRacing Superspeedway. Yellow flag already out on the racetrack. A few cars going around. Bain has gone around in the number 28. There he is. Fragility's following here. Thank you so much. There's Bain in the 28 who's gone around. Let's, okay. Quick start to the action here. Caution number 1. 28 jumps to pit road. Let's run this one back and see what happened. With that 28 car right now, we can see him on the inside, 3rd in line. He just didn't go, and it looks like the two of Byron Jones just plowed in to the 28 car. Let's get a different angle and have another look here. Terry, we're going to slow this one down. We're going to jump to the 2 car right here. Matter of fact, let's roll this back and sit in the cockpit. We're going to have a listen here and see. You know what? Better to have a listen to the 28, isn't it? And we're going to listen here and see if there was anything with the throttle. Maybe he spun the tires. Full speed now. I think he missed a shift, Terry. The way that engine just shot up in note makes me think that he possibly smashed the clutch by mistake. Byron Jones with nowhere to go but the back end of the 28 car. And now leading this race, Shane Sawatsworth in the number 1, Bass Pro Tracker Boats. Nate Lehman sitting in the 2nd position. Enrique Quinones in 3rd. Papa Bear, as they call him, sitting in 4th, and then Josh Arnold in the top 5. So, Terry, we kind of get a re-rack here.
Yeah, we get a re-rack. He said in practice, we were sitting there talking, and he said he was having shifter issues. And I don't know if that was a part of the shifter, but it looked like he did miss a shift, as they're saying in the chat that it did happen right there. Tough break, especially for Byron and for Jordan Bain, as the points are very close to one another. So having Jordan have this mishap this early, one fast repair for these guys tonight, maybe he'll get back out there on the track and have a better showing.
The points brought to you by HMG Innovations, the design house, bringing you the best in race car design. You see Jordan Bain sitting 2nd with 385 points, and on lap 1 with 3 races remaining in this season, he is sitting in pit road with heavy damage. Drivers only getting 1 fast repair tonight, Terry. So Josh Arnold ready to take that spot. There he is sitting in the 4th position, rocking a little bit of the throwback Steve Park colors.
And Joshua Arnold won the last Super Speedway race, and he won it on fuel mileage. Tonight, I don't think fuel mileage is really going to play a factor. It's 80 laps, and you can get roughly about 20-23 on a tank of fuel here. So look for Cold Dog Racing to drive up there with their 4-car pack. No affiliation back here, as they were telling me, with Commando Griff. But they have an opportunity to go 2 in a row for the 22 tonight. And as he said, he's the fastest 22 around.
Lights are still on atop the pace car here. Let's try and grab a word from our race leader, Nate Lehman. We're going to see how how he's enjoying his race so far. They didn't really get off to a good start. Nate Lehman, Rick James, and Terry Radford in the booth. You got me, pal.
I got you loud and clear, boys.
You're leading this race here ahead of the 9 of Enrique Quiñones. Papa Bear sitting in third, and you didn't even get to a start here, so congratulations on leading the first 3 laps, but really no competition for you. How do you expect the next 76 laps of competition to go? Do you have the car to win?
I think we got a good car. Plans to honestly stay out front, just kind of ride in front of all the mess. I think if we get back behind some of these guys back here, as they're wrecking under yellow back there, I don't know what's going on.
No, big crash behind you. You called it out, Nate, and look at this, the 16's piling up behind here. What was the message? Was there a driver meeting about etiquette, about taking care of one another on the racetrack?
Yeah, there was, Rick. We were told, take it easy, that the closing rates are really insane at this racetrack, and I guess that there's people not getting the message back there, so I don't know what's going on, though.
Sinapuse was just involved in that lost accident, as well as Cross. I think the 54 of Michael Kinsley might have caught a piece of that. Well, we're going to rack them and stack them once again, so kind of an anticlimactic start to your race. The lights are still out atop the pace car, Nate, so we're going to let you get back to work. But before we do, the most important question anybody's going to ask you all night. Nate Lehman, what is your favorite flavor of pie?
Favorite flavor of pie? I'm going to have to go with probably pecan, or cherry's a close second.
Pecan, cherry, cherry's a good pie. I do like a good cherry pie. Maybe, let me ask you this, do you prefer a pie with nuts, or meat, or fruit?
Gosh, I'm going to have to go with fruit, nuts, and then meat, that order.
I like that. We had a British driver, Mark Thomas, this week say steak and ale pie was his favorite flavor. I know, right? I know, right? But steak and ale pie. So the lights are on atop the pace car here, so I've got one more for you about tire strategy. They say 20 to 30 laps is going to be the window. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the window on fuel. Tires is going to be a whole nother story. If we're coming down to put a full tank in it anyway, we're going to probably change tires at the same time. But tires not going to be so much an issue as fuel will be pretty insane.
All right, buddy. You have yourself a wonderful night tonight. Thanks, Nate.
You too. Appreciate it.
AKA Commando Griff getting back in there. So, Terry, you've heard it. About 20 to 30 tires here. Tires are going to be king. And I guess we're going to get our first official start of this race. Now 5 laps in after that lap 1 caution. Do you expect to see the same? Instant mayhem?
Well, no, but I do agree with what he said about the closing rates here. This is such a big track. It's like combining your Talladega with your Martinsvilles with the banking in the corners. You go into this corner with so much load. You can go 3, 4, 5 wide if you needed to. These guys just going to have to be a little bit patient. We're 5 laps into this race, or 4 laps into this race, I'm sorry. It's going to have to be survival of the fittest. You're going to have to be that guy that just weaves in and out of traffic to make sure you don't put yourself in a bad position. But the best seat in the house is where the 14 and 9's at right now, 1-2.
We're going to see what they can get up to here. Another half lap to go. It looks like everybody's back out here. That's really got to put a wear on some of these drivers that have already had to use one fast repair.
It definitely puts a wear on them. For the guys that are back in the back, that are starting behind where the mayhem is going to begin, the mayhem can happen anywhere on this track. It could happen in the lead. It could happen in the middle of the pack, and it could definitely happen in the back as well. Those guys are going to have to be smart. Josh Arnold was in an incident right there with Papa Bear. Cross, York, Curtis, Bain, Franks. I mean, all of these guys got into that incident under caution, and using your fast repair, it just throws out your strategy for the race. Now you have to be cautious and maybe bank on some type of strategy.
Lehman and Quiñones inside, outside, getting ready to restart this race, completing 5 laps. Pace truck peels off, waiting for the signal one more time. Green flag is out. Let's start it for real. great start so far, Terry. Coming out of the fourth corner, it's Lehman, Quinones, Ballard, your top three, but with speeds climbing well over 228 miles an hour. It's going to be a drafter's paradise. Here comes the 33 of Carnathan on the outside.
Goes up to the inside. 9's pushing the 14 down on the bottom. You have the 11 tucked in behind it. 19 of Jake Millsap finds himself P2 on the outside lane. They're faded out 3 wide in the back, but it is no match right now for this back-to-school 14 as he's ready to teach some kids.
Carnathan on the outside trying to take the rest of the field to school. Now on the outside of Lehman trying to edge him into 3. 33-19-54 on the outside. Mike Kinsley in the Starburst Supra third in line on the high side. Lehman still on the inside with Carnathan behind him. Quinones behind him. Carnathan in the 33 on the outside with no help, and the 11 of Ballard has to save his race car. Look at them fan out of turn number 4, Terry. It is miraculous that they don't wreck every single time.
It takes a lot of skill, especially in the Xfinity series, for these guys to shoot it from the bottom to the middle to the top and have the know-with-all to not hit anything. It's a perfect mixture to put an Indy car out here. It kind of reminds me of the Indianapolis 500, how they just fan. Everybody just shoots around like a BB gun, and that's what these guys are doing lap in and lap out for 80 consecutive turns.
Got to give shout-outs to Worm Rider, who says, "Woot, let's go." Green Fire says, "Boogity, boogity." The 19 of Millsap says, "Watch out for me." You see the 1 of Swatsworth having to check up and make sure he sees where he's going. Michael York in the number 3 Good Wrench car. Now to the inside, following the 98 of Papa Bear up the middle. The 32 of Ballard Jr. on the outside trying to drag, scrapes up along the wall. 9 laps in and we're still green. Carnathan now your new leader on the outside in 1.
Great push by Michael Kinsley in the 54. That Supra's hooked up. He's pushing the Chevrolet to the front, but don't look now. Here comes the Ford Power on the bottom, getting a Chevy push. 14's getting a huge, huge push from Mr. Quinones. It's a great mixer up here, 2x2 for the lead, all the way back to the pack. The load is impressive here at this racetrack.
Drivers now trying to get back into formation, looking at Michael Kinsley in the number 54 Starburst car, up 20 spots since the race started, 21 now that he's in the 2nd position. Coming up through this field, Quinones sitting in 4th. Now you've got Rivers in that number 15, up to the 5th position, and there's a big wreck behind him. The 11's been involved. Millsap going around, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars involved. Smoke, twisted metal, frustration goes through the Chelmsford, Massachusetts sky. 10 laps into this race. Caution number 2 is out over the field. Carnathan, your leader. Kinsley in 2nd. Nate Lehman in 3rd. Terry, did you see what happened?
I did. The 11 kind of caught the apron right there, and it took a lot of good cars out. But this is a big break for Jordan Bain. He's 1 lap down, and he finds himself in the free pass position. So 28 position for the 28 moves him back to the lead lap, but it took a lot of good cars out there, Rick. The 77 was involved there, and just a slew of others, but it all happened just by touching the apron ever so slightly.
We're going to roll this back one more time. You see the 11 car just getting T-boned by the 5 of Mike Allen. Let's roll this back one more time here. And we're a little early, so we're a little late there. So let's roll it back again. Terry, you say he just got off the apron. We're going to slow this down to a 1/4 speed and have a look. Okay,
you talk about the closing speed, Rick.
Oh, look at that.
The closing speed was what it was. Is he closed in so fast on the back bumper of the 19, he just lost control. I mean, you're hitting upwards of speeds going in these corners at 240 miles an hour, and it's a lot to handle in these Xfinity cars, and I'm just impressed they did it for this many laps without this incident happening.
Well, the first big one of the race, if you want to call it, look at that T-bone by the 5 of Mike Allen. So lots of repair having to happen here. The 53 not going to escape the 38 car of Matthew Boone coming down and getting in the way of the 53. Now the 82 of Travis Anderson, who's skating high, trying to avoid all of this. We're going to ride along with Anderson and see just how he missed all of this action. And he's through. Talk about your days of thunder moments. Everybody coming down, getting repairs. That's going to put car number 3, Michael York, at the front of this field for now. Fans at home are going to take a quick 60-second break so we can stay ad-free for the next 21 minutes. And we're going to call out some of you fans and what you have to say in the chat. We love you, fans. Thank you so much for tuning in. Back in 60 seconds. Subscribers at home, thank you so much for tuning in. It's our pleasure to bring you this 14th round of Turn Down for What, and we cannot do it without you subscribers. Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Stay tuned. We've got more action coming up in 30 seconds. Ready to go racing once again, and Mike Honcho sitting at the front in the number 37 Ford. Let's bother Honcho real quick and see how his race is going. Let's push the right buttons here. Mike Honcho, Rick James in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Honcho, you're leading this race. It's been a couple of quick cautions here, but you're at the front, up 25 spots from where you started. You've got Stan Carnathan to your outside. Can you keep the number 37 at the top?
We're going to try. I think it's a little safer at the front than it is at the back. I was planning on staying at the back, but it was pretty chaotic back there, so we're going to see what happens here at the front.
They say tires are going to come at a premium tonight. Are you an inside or outside line kind of driver today?
Where I can make the most spots up is where I'm going to be.
And that leads me to my last question, Honcho. What is your favorite flavor of pie?
I got to go chocolate, I guess.
Chocolate pie. Absolutely, buddy. Sweet answer. We hope you have an even sweeter result. Good luck, Honcho.
Thank you.
Mike Honcho to the inside, Stan Carnathan to the outside, Quinones and Lehman in row number 2, Millsap and Kinsley in row number 3. Pace truck peels off, Honcho at the front, waiting to get going one more time. There's the green, and let's turn them loose again.
You moved yourself to race room 1, but green flag back in the air, 37 gets a huge run.
Let's take care of that here. Let's take care of that here. Honcho leading this race. Lehman in the second position. Quinones sitting in third with Stan Carnathan. No help on the outside now. Coming down the backstretch, 37, 14, 9 your top 3. Ford, Chevrolet. But now, Terry, the draft is in full effect.
Yeah, draft's in full effect. You see what the 9s do when he kind of lagged back off of Nathan's back bumper, getting a huge shot from that 19 of Jake Millsap, and here comes the 22 back to the front. Josh Arnold caught up in the incident under caution, but it's no match for one of the Super Speedway Kings as he finds himself 5th on the inside line, battling for a top 5 here.
Honcho still has his car out in front of this field. Cars flying by at 230 plus. Now a fight for that first spot. 3, 4 wide in turn number 2. The 54 of Kinsley has to go all the way to the top to save that car. 2 by 2, 4 rows deep down the 4th corner. Here comes the number 29 of Randy Bousquet in that Uncle Buck car featuring John Candy's face proudly on 3 sides of that race car. We'll get a chance to check it out here in a minute. There's the 29. Loving that paint scheme.
Loving the paint schemes that are right here, but I'm enjoying the load that happens every time they go into a corner. When they come into 1, they dip down as hard as they can. They dip into 3. They go as hard to the bottom as possible, but the racing is impeccable. You have the 33, 37, 54, and I've lost count. And the 14, all right there, nose to tail, pushing the tar out of one another, and they're racing this on lap 16. Incredible racing so far to start this event.
So far, so good. The 54 of Kinsley now second in that second lane. Looking back, you've got cars fanning out and getting back to single file at the front. Carnathan, who's up 10 spots from where he started, now has Kinsley pushing behind him in the Starburst Supra. Chevy, Toyota, Ford, your top 3.
The 33 has been working that outside super well with the 54 behind him. I know Kinsley's a very good pusher when it comes to super speedway racing. I don't know much about that 15 of Brad Rivers in iRacing. I didn't get a chance to really race with him, but he's running the red, white, and blue. He's racing for the Fallen. It's a wonderful paint scheme. He has their 3rd on the outside line as they're still nose to tail around this super speedway.
2x2, 3 rows deep now. The 54 of Kinsley giving a great push to Carnathan now on the outside. The 54, really the engine behind this 2-car tandem going to the front. Kinsley secure on the high line, but now first in line on the inside, it's Honcho. That's the 14 of Lehman that flies right to the high side. So far, everybody survives. Terry, it's just a big bump that these race cars get when they shoot from the inside all the way to the outside line again.
It is such a massive pump that they take, but I tell you what, Motor 54's getting turned in front of the field. He's wrecking them.
Big wreck in front of the field right here. The 54's gone around, cars everywhere, and there's a product of the drafting. The 15 comes to a halt against the 54. Travis Anderson gets a piece of the action as well from the 15th position. Mike Honcho still leads this race. Stan Carnathan sits in second. Josh Arnold now holding the 3rd position. Let's have another look and see what happened here. You say it started with the 54, Terry. That's Mike Kinsley in the Starburst Supra from Tecumseh, Michigan. Honestly, just about an hour away from my house. Kinsley not having a good time. Let's go back and see what brought out this caution. Brought to you by HMG Innovations.
Looks like just a push going wrong, Rick. The 33-54 trying to keep the same tandem they had, just in a backwards way where the 54 wasn't pushing the 33, caught him on the wrong side of that vehicle, and it just sent him around. When you come to push here at these super speedways, you want to line them up. And I know that the Chevrolets and the Toyotas don't match as good as you think they would have kept. He caught him on the passenger side rear, and around he went, and the field went with him.
We're going to ride along with Stan Carnathan in the 33 and see exactly how his crash experience went. Let's get in the... Oh, and we're a little too late here. Let's get in the cockpit view with Carnathan and see just what his hands were doing when he got into the back of Kinsley in the 54. And I'll tell you what I saw there, Terry. I saw the 33 had gotten into the back of the 54, but not only that, he did not hold a line there. One more time, let's watch Carnathan. He'll approach the back of the 54 and just drift alongside of the back end of the Starburst Supra. That is not... Okay. Let's try one more time.
These SDK problems, so we'll figure them all out together.
There we go. We're just a little too late there. All right, let's have another look at Carnathan's hands. Drivers coming down for tires and fuel. 1/4 of the race complete. Mike Honcho still being scored as the leader with Josh Arnold behind him. Fans at home, we're still ad-free for the next 11 minutes and 37 seconds. Big shout out to the fans that have joined us once again tonight. Fireball Woody's in here with a hashtag Wolf Pumps. Rocky's into the chat. Mama Vols, as always. Yotes King says he lagged out, and that's just the brakes. Yo, it's an unbelievable shame for Brian to miss that there. Green Fire says chicken pot pies, his favorite flavor of pie. Big Zerk cheering on Joe. Worm Rider saying caution again before turn 4 on that last restart. A lot of the Wolf Pumps crew in here. Absolutely loving this. Repeat 1975 in the chat, and I completely missed it. My bad. Repeat. He says hit him way too hard. Rocky saying he never lifted as well. So a lot of the fans, Terry, looking at this incident and saying Carnathan could have been a bit less aggressive on that crash.
Well, I wouldn't say a little bit aggressive. I mean, Carnathan went into it and he thought that he could hold it. You saw them working as a tandem. They had been pushing one another for about 10 laps. I mean, this entire stream, every time we've been able to say 33, 54, they're on the high side. But except the roles were reversed. The 54 was always the pusher. He was not the pushee. The bumper lineup from the Chevy to the Toyota is just a little bit different. And yes, I mean, he's hitting him coming off of that corner with such a vacuum of him coming up at 230 plus miles an hour. Could have burped it a tad bit to give a smaller push, but I think he just hit him in the wrong spot at the wrong time, and Carnage followed it. But now we got to regroup. These guys have to take a breath. You're 20 laps into this race. Now you have to go exhale. You have 60 more laps to go in your playoff position. Your championship hopes could go up in smoke at this super speedway.
We're going to bother Josh Arnold before we go back to green here. Josh Arnold, Rick James in the booth. You got me, buddy?
Yes, sir.
So you're leading this race now. A quarter of the race is complete, and you've got your Steve Park number 22 Pennzoil Ford at the front. We asked the 37 Honcho if he would keep it there, and he did. Can you do the same?
Certainly going to try. I've already used that fast repair, obviously, from that first little dust up under caution first time, but I'm just going to ride it out. I came back to the front. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging. So I'll try to do my best to stay up front for you.
Randy Bousquet and the Uncle Buck car to your outside now in, he's up 27 spots since the race started. Is that Uncle Buck car a distraction when you see John Candy's face just staring at you on the racetrack?
I know. I think of cool run-ins, and it makes me want to get up there and pass everybody.
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's restart time. One more quick question, Mr. Arnold. What is your favorite flavor of pie?
Blueberry.
Blueberry. Good answer. What lobby are you going back to, sir?
Cold Dog Racing.
Getting a lot of fruit pie answers. I'm absolutely loving that. We're also loving the racing that we're going to get back to as well. Waiting for that signal. Green flag is out. Restart lap 22. At the front, Terry, Josh Arnold still leads. 23 laps underway. Here comes Papa Bear.
Yeah, Papa Bear's running second in just almost to the day that he got his first ever NNR Truck Series win at a super speedway by the slimmest of margins. He shared it on the old tweeter. Can he pull the miracle off here in his own league of turn down for what? He's running second with a lot of friends behind him. But Josh Arnold, he gets it. They've calmed down as here comes Uncle Buck to the outside.
The 29 car on the outside, that's Randy Bousquet and the Uncle Buck Ford. Now to his inside, Stan Carnathan. He's following the number 30 of Cross, sitting in the third position. What is his first name? Who has a first name of B? So B Cross sitting in the third position. Ford Toyota, 24 laps now underway.
Brad Cross is one of the most up-and-coming guys here in Turn Down for What. He's been racing here for about 5 weeks, and he's been consistently up front. He finds himself challenging Tristan Bailey, Jordan Bain, Joshua Arnold for wins, and right now he finds himself 1, 2, 3, 2 Fords and a Toyota share the top 3, and he's pushing the owner in second.
Randy Bousquet drops down to the 7th spot, still up 22 from where he started. 22 car leading this race with Papa Bear just drafting behind him. After the first couple of cautions, Terry, look at the way they just jump up out of 4. After the first couple of cautions, it looks like the drivers have agreed to settle down for the long run.
That should be the plan. You're 24 laps into this race. You just crossed the line to start lap 25. There's no sense in racing now. The check doesn't get cut on lap 50. It gets cut on lap 80. You have to be there to get that check cut to you. Points don't pay out halfway. They pay at the end. These guys need to know that. Here comes the 33 to the outside. He's going to pass Brad Cross for third as they enter the back straightaway.
Carnathan to the outside now, looking to jump to the lead. He's got Cross, Papa Bear, and Arnold to his inside, trying to side draft through the corner. So much room, but almost impossible to make that side draft move. Drew Jua in the 9th spot, having some blinking problems earlier in that One Mind design number 7, but he's settled now. Mike Honcho trying to get behind him, rounding out the top 10 in the number 37 car. Honcho trying to get back up towards the front. Here comes Brad Cross to the outside of Papa Bear.
Getting challenged right here by the 30. He pulled out of line, but with no help to there. But here comes Quinones in the number 9. Puts him Pete number 2 on the outside lane. He's getting a good shove back there in the back. It looks by the 33. 29's up to the outside, and they're going to make a 4-car train on the high lane.
2 cars nose to tail on the outside line, trying to catch back up. The 4th car, the 29 of Randy Bousquet, falling just off, but now he's going to make up that gap. He sucks right up to the 33 of Stan Carnathan. Arnold now in trouble on the outside because here comes Brad Cross in the number 30 Fox Racing Supra. He's got Papa Bear right to his inside in the number 98. Terry, the 22 of Arnold's got some blocking to do.
He's one of the blocking guys. He knows how to do it. He can work from the bottom to the top. He runs the 22 for Joey Logano, and he races just like him on these super speedways. 30 comes down to side draft. Couldn't quite make it happen. You said there's a lot of lanes here, and there is. There's 5, 6 wide potential here at this racetrack, but they don't want to use it. 30 goes back up to the high side. 22 is going to continue to lead. And here comes the 98, and a big shot from the 9 to the 30 for the race lead.
Enrique Quinones pushing on the 30 of Brad Cross. 28 laps now underway. Fireball Woody cheering for the 48 car of Joe Tardif, sitting in the 13th position. Cross now looking to the outside. Is this going to be the move for the lead? Quinones can't help him coming out of turn number 2, but here comes Papa Bear to the back end of the 22. Arnold with the advantage, headed into 3.
22 and the 30 nose to or drag racing down the back straightaway. 98-9 on glue to the back bumper of these machines. Ford Toyota battle for the lockout with a Chevy pushing behind him. The Fords on the bottom are going to get the advantage as the 30 goes to the outside. He's not going to be able to take it this time by. Lap 28 complete, starting of 29.
That was briefly the 82 of Travis Anderson, having some problems running by himself with no draft at all. Papa Bear behind Arnold. Cross now looking for help all the way on the outside line. That looked like the 32 car that's trying to catch back up here. Yeah, that is the 32 that's running on the outside. Robert Ballard Jr. currently finding himself a lap down, sitting in 23rd up towards the front, fighting for it. Terry, that draft is so important. You just saw it with the 82, who's well off the pace. Now you see it with the 30 of Brad Cross in the Fox Supra. Big problems once you lose all that precious draft.
It's a huge blow. They're going 235 miles an hour, and it's increasing. They're getting about 239, 240 going into the big load, the big drop-off going into the corners. Those guys knew that the outside wasn't working right there. They didn't have the momentum to get around this racetrack, so they tucked back into the bottom. Smart move for them, but look out for those one mind to design guys. Drew Jua has the 77 right there, right in front of him. He might be a lap down, but he could be the potential spoiler to pull his teammate around for a win.
Matt Cochran riding in the number 77 One Mind Design Supra. He's just on the cusp of the top 5, up 12 spots from where he started this race. Josh Arnold at the front, still holding off Papa Bear behind him, but now you've got Cinepuse, who's sitting in third, trying to get some spot closer to the lead. But Terry, it's settling time now.
Yeah, you're not halfway through this race. It's time to chill out. Everybody saw that. It was time to just back off, be as patient as possible. The 9's going to jump out to the outside, but he's not going to have very many friends out there. The 33's still there. He's committed to the outside to make some rings. But here comes the 17. He's going to give a big shot to the 98 when they go on the back straightaway.
22.98 leading the 17 car of Cinepuse, trying to push Papa Bear a little bit more forward with that draft. Cars fanning out 3 and almost 4 wide. Now here comes the 17 to the outside. Quinones to the outside of the 17. 3 wide for second, and Josh Arnold loving all of this. More time at the front. He goes high to just get the drop off. That little bit of a downhill drop that gives him just a slight advantage. Headed into the corner. Terry, Uncle Buck back in the top 10. Randy Bousquet, the biggest improvement so far. 20 spots from where he started.
Yeah, a tough break. He kind of got in the wall back there just a little bit about 5 laps ago, but he finds himself back into the top 10 in the 9th position, plus 20 spots since the drop of the green flag. Didn't get a whole lot of damage to that John Candy Ford that he's got right there. Beautiful, beautiful paint scheme. But you talked about the draft. You talk about what we got here. A lot of teammates. There's a lot of teammates sitting up here just in the top 5, and that shows you that Team 8s win races at these tracks, and fuel mileage is just going to be a name of the game here at the end.
Carnathan going high and losing some of that draft. Now Carnathan with no help, but now Quinones sucking off the back draft of that 33. 22.98, now 33, your top 3. The 17 to the inside. He's just been overtaken. Carnathan getting that draft, but still can't make the move for the lead, Terry. No rush. However, we haven't even hit halfway. I think Carnathan is just preparing himself and seeing who's willing to draft with him.
You got to find out who your friends are. In the first 70 laps, you find out who your dancing partner is. And at the very end of this night, somebody's going to go tangoing with somebody to the lead. It's like Dirty Dancing. Nobody puts Baby in a corner. 22 doesn't want to be put in the corner, but he's already there. He's down his fast repair. He has no saving grace, no backup, no rebound for him to come back if Carnage finds him. So now the guys who have the fast repair are going to provoke him to maybe go out there and race just a little bit harder or drop to the back.
Now riding along with Travis Anderson in that 82, who's picked up a draft partner, looking at Cinepuse now in the 5th position, who's got the One Mind Design cars to his outside, and green flag pit stops have commenced. Looking at drivers now taking full advantage of pit road, and there's a caution. It looks like we've had a crash at the entrance of pit road, and it's Cinepuse, just as he tried coming down for that caution. Let's have a look and see what happened. Shane in the 17 already loose off the corner. One more time, let's have a look here. Brad Cross just coming down pit road. And there you see the 17 of Cinepuse already losing it. Let's roll this one back. We're going to go to the cockpit, Terry, and it looks like the 17 just lost control here. So let's play this now. We're going to, well, we went back a little too far. Let's get in the cockpit view. It was the banking. Terry, you saw it. He got off the banking. It upset the car and smashed right into those water barriers that has... Let's say this one more time because it looks like he got hung up on the barriers and then it just turned him over here. But that's what did it. The banking just upset the car and he crashed into the barrier.
And that's the big thing here. You see some of these pit stops that happen, and especially at a track like this. I mean, this is just a fantasy racetrack that somebody wanted to go in there. But yeah, as Pete said in there, a little too much brake bias. Coming off of this banking, people don't realize until you come out here and race this how much you fall. You go into these corners and it feels like you're falling off the Empire State Building because it's just such a huge cliff. And as he did that, he went to catch the brakes, and it upset the car, and he pulled an old Sam Hornish Jr. into the water barriers.
Both pumps saying, let's see those paints. Pete talking about the brake bias in there. Bill's Legend with an L. Glad to have you here, Legend. Thank you all the fans that have tuned in so far for this awesome race. We're just about to hit halfway as Carnathan overshoots his pit stall. That's going to affect his lead on the way out. And speaking of lead, we'll have a word with our race leader here. We're going to take a quick 60-second break and be back for the action. Don't go anywhere. Subscribers at home, once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this race. We hope you're having a good time. If there's anything we can do to improve your experience as a subscriber and a member of Rick James TV, drop me a line. Let me know what it takes. We love you. We appreciate you. Stay tuned. We'll have more racing in 35 seconds.
Rick, as a subscriber to your channel, I have one request for you.
Yeah.
We need more cowbell.
Back to turn down for what? Round 14 from iRacing Superspeedway. Our race leader, Brad Rivers, in the number 15. We're going to have a word with Brad here in just a moment. If we could just find him and drag him here. You know, we can't find Brad at the moment, so we're going to go ahead and leave him alone. The lights are out atop the pace truck. We're getting ready to go racing. Terry, we're going to restart on lap 38 of 80. These drivers have yet to experience a full 30-lap green flag run, but they've learned to settle down and draft properly. We still have the usual suspects at the front of this race. Who do you think is going to take advantage of this restart here?
Well, I've been keeping my eye on the 77 of Matt Cochran. I've been watching him for the past couple weeks. He's found himself based off of strategy and pure speed up to the front. He was a lap down for a good part of this race due to the first incident that we had on the track, but I look forward to that one-mind design Supra to find himself up here racing in the front. Georgia native, as I live in Georgia now. It's good to see him running up front, and maybe the luck and the tide will turn for that 77 tonight.
Cochran in that 77 car, running in the 5th position. Brad Rivers at the front of this race, leading as we're peeling off of turn number 4. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, your top 5. Approaching halfway, 2x2, 15 rows deep, waiting for the green flag, and we're racing again at iRacing Superspeedway. 39 laps underway. Carnathan now to the outside of Rivers. Here comes Honcho on the outside as well, Terry. He's brought the 37 Ford back into contention.
37 Ford, yeah, he came back from a huge incident that he had early in the race, but it's good to see the Stars and Stripes leading this race with J-Pod behind him. He's not going to be able to block the run of the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry paint scheme of that 33 of Stan Carnathan, but the 37's got a great push with the 17 behind him, 2 Fords and a Chevrolet and a Ford behind him, and here comes the 3 of Michael York on the outside.
York coming on the outside, Carnathan, Honcho, Rivers, currently your top 3, but it just changes positions so often. You mentioned Michael York in that very special number 3 car right there. Fans will notice the red 3, and well, I'd call that Dayglow number 3, and the Dayglow spoiler on the back of the car, reminiscent of Dale Earnhardt's 75th win at Talladega Superspeedway in October of 2000. An incredibly special car for a special driver, and he is taking it to the front, up 6 spots from where he started, but you've got to give it up to Mike Honcho, up 24 spots from where he began, riding around in second. He's got Brad Rivers to his inside. Rivers now to the inside of Carnathan. He's got Arnold's help. We're at halfway, Terry.
We're at halfway here. 15's going to jump up to pull the block on him, but it's not going to help. Here comes the 33 to the inside. Drag racing down there. Put the 33 to the lead. I had a conversation with the 9 car of Quinones, and he said, Terry, I want to throw this nugget at you. Every time
17's wrecking. Wreck behind him. 17's gone around. Cars piling up at a turn number 2. Drew Jua getting involved in that one. Quinones has been involved. The number 9 got a piece of that. The 30 car of Brian Cross, who was just leading this race, chewed up. That looks like the 32 car that's also bitten off more than he can chew. That is indeed Robert Ballard Jr., and he probably got chewed more than he tried to bite coming out of that one there. Let's go back here, Terry. One car I want to look at, the 17. Shane Sinopuse coming to a dignified crawl down the back straight. One more look. We'll see what was the catalyst behind this most recent 5th caution. Oof, oh, what a hit. Sinopuse getting piled up by the 11, sent into the air, and that's the 2nd time the 17 has crashed, Terry. Unless he used a fast repair before, that's it on fast repairs. And if we slow this down, it looks like the 17 of Sinopuse got loose on top of Byron Jones. Those two collided. Let's have one more look here. See if we can find the 17. He's already loose. The 17's already loose, headed into turn number 1. There he is trying to correct it. And you can see he's already cockeyed. The 2 of Byron Jones, nothing he can do, but the 2 miraculously keeps on pushing. 17 going to slam that wall with intense mass. Here comes the 11. Bam! And back in real time, here it all unfolds. The 82 of Travis Anderson, injured in previous cautions. He slowed down in this one. Well, Terry, you know this is a phrase that they use for Bristol often enough, but it applies here. Cautions breed cautions.
Yeah, it's a terrible outcome there, but I believe Travis is going to get the free pass right here. The 82 avoided the caution right there. Didn't have any damage on that one. He should get this free pass down there in the 21st position. Once you get loose here at this racetrack, it's just so hard to collect yourself. It's hard to collect your thoughts. You have a millisecond, a very small amount of time to try to get that going. But going back to what I was talking about with the 9 car, is we talked before this race, and he said that every single time you've called a race, Terry, I've won. So I'm throwing my money out there that 9 car, we're going to make it 4 for 4 of me calling races instead of that 9 to victory lane.
So you're telling me the car that just wrecked, Enrique Quinones, the New Jersey pilot, is going to come home and get the win after being involved in that accident?
He didn't get a lot of it, but yes, third place right now. I told him before the race that if he watched this stream back at some point in time, I would put my money on that 9. I will put my money where my mouth is. I have called this man to so many wins in NNR, turned down for what? And tonight we're going to call him to one right here on iRacing.
Well, you know what? Why don't we take that here and let's bother Enrique Quiñones, who's sitting in third right now, and see how his race is going. Enrique, Rick James, and Terry up top. You got us, babe.
What's going on?
What's going on, buddy? So all the way from the Garden State of New Jersey, Terry Radford saying you're going to win this race after getting caught up in that accident. What happened, and do you think you have the car to win?
I got the car, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. I'm been circling this one for a while. A little bit of damage. We fixed her up, and we're back up here running with Mr. Arnold.
Is it an inside line or an outside line kind of night?
Wherever the car wants to go, my man.
It's got to be difficult controlling that car when you've got these massive crests and undulations going into and out of the corners.
Yeah, that bottom's got to make sure you keep it off that apron. A couple bumps there, but just trying to keep her straight, man. We'll see what we can do here with the Cold Dog Racing team.
Terry, any words of encouragement for your now new betted-on driver?
Man, we know you can win. We're trying to bat 1,000 right here. I personally went out on the stream, no commentator curse, knocking on wood, my man. Can you in the Cold Dog Racing team, can you take this win, and how hard are you going to push this 22 on this restart?
Push, man. We're looking to get to the front and stay up front, man. So we'll see how it goes here.
My man, words of few. I love it. Go put that number 9 Chevrolet into victory lane for me tonight.
I appreciate it, guys.
One more race before we let you go, Enrique. We've been asking everybody tonight, and we're going to ask you too, what is your favorite flavor of pie?
Apple.
Apple. All right, so that's another one for that. That's a good classic one. Love it. Best of luck, Rico. We'll see you later, man.
I appreciate it.
So we're going to let Rico get back to work, get going one more time. Josh Arnold and Stan Carnathan on the front row, getting ready to restart with 35 circuits remaining, waiting for the pace truck to peel off, and there goes the Silverado, getting ready to flip the switch, put the foot to the floor, waiting for the signal. Green flag is out. .45 laps complete, 35 laps to go at the iRacing Superspeedway, and a poll for the fans in the chat as Stan Carnathan becomes your new leader. We've been asking the drivers, and now 10 minutes for us to ask you too. What is your favorite flavor of pie? Because there's so many possibilities, your choices are going to be between fruit pie, a sweet pie, like a dessert pie or something like that, a meat pie, a veg pie, or other. Put it in the chat. Put it in the poll as well. Vote in this poll. You've got 10 minutes to make your opinion heard. What is your favorite flavor of pie? Terry Carnathan still leads, 34 to go.
American flag pushes an American classic to the front. Brad Rivers pushed Stan in the Dirty Harry. Oh my gosh, what an amazing movie that one was, but the outside is prevailing right here. Drew Jua in the number 7 at One Mind to Design Chevrolet finds himself P3 on the outside. Jordan Bain, our first caution flag of the night. Here he is battling for the 4th place position as they're side by side with Josh Arnold. Drew Jua is going to go to the middle into the vacuum hole.
Jordan Bain now on the outside, sitting 3rd. Chevy, Ford, your running order down the back straight into 3. 33, 15, 28. Brian Rivers making up 15 positions from where he started this race, now pushing the 33 of Carnathan. Your pick, Enrique Quiñones, back down to 7th, but he's drafting with Arnold as he intended. Jua in the 5th position, leading that line. Here comes the 29 of Bousquet right in front of Jua. Jua shoots to the outside. Arnold behind them in the 22 car. 48 1/4 laps complete.
Everybody's wanting to fight for position. They're jockeying like the Kentucky Derby. 15 gets into the wall. He goes down to the bottom. 29 is going to go up to push. He's going to jump to the outside. 28 is going to P number 2. And here comes the 22 to the outside.
The 28 of Jordan Bain now in 2nd. Josh Arnold shoots down to the inside with push from Quiñones on the inside line. Amazing control on that 22. Shoots to the front. Josh Arnold, new leader at iRacing Superspeedway. Ford Chevy coming across the line. 48 laps now complete. 49 underway. Fireball Woody's favorite flavor of pie is coconut. Stan Carnathan now on the outside, bringing a drag race to the front. 22:33 for the lead in 1, Terry.
22-33 for the lead. Now put 22 and 9 for P number 2. Here comes the 29 of Uncle Buck. He's trying to find his way into the 3rd place position, but to no prevail. 22 still holds this lead, and it is very slim because here comes the 33 to the outside, Jordan Bain. 37 of Mike Honcho is coming into the run, and here comes the man we haven't spoke about this entire race, the 88 of Tristan Bailey. The points leader is now in the top 7.
Bailey in that TJ's Team 88 car, now coming down the front side here, bringing that Chevrolet behind the 15 of Rivers up the inside line. There's a wreck. The 29's gone around. There goes the 33 of Carnathan who's going around. Bailey survives. Carnathan going down to the inside, back on the surface, and barely avoids getting slapped down with a heavy race car there. And the 29 of Randy Bousquet goes around, and not so funny now as the Massachusetts pilot has an amused John Candy on every side of that race car, but the driver himself must be anything but amused. Caution number 6 is out. Let's go back to the tape and see what brought out this most recent caution. Looked like drafting there. Let's get a closer look. Matter of fact, let's zoom in right here on the back end of Bousquet. And he did indeed get turned around by the 33, Terry. That's the 2nd time Stan Carnathan has been involved in an accident. And with that very, let's just say, with that incredibly creepy John Candy face on the back end of this car, let's actually have another look in the cockpit of Stan Carnathan and see just how close he was. Have a listen. Terry, to me it looked like Carnathan tried to go to the inside, and the 29 of Bousquet did the same. Randy Bousquet tried to throw a block. Have a listen here on Randy's car.
Yeah, it just looks to me as if the 29 kind of just thought that when he made the run, he was going to be able to keep the run, but then the carnage stacked up behind it. 15 gets into the 33, and then all heck broke loose behind that. But it's just wrong place, wrong time. The spotter's going to tell you that you're clear, but you have such a small time frame to actually do it. And it looked to me as if the spotter called him clear. And he thought he was at that time that he was, but you have to do it instantly. It has to be clear, move. It can't be clear and then pause and then move, because there's somebody going to be right there on your back bumper.
T in the chat as well. No idea how you pronounce that. I've never known for the past 3 weeks, but glad to have you back in the stream, T. Thanks for joining. Josh Arnold being scored as your leader. We won't take a break. We're still ad-free for the next 2 minutes, 30 seconds. But fans at home, if you want to go ad-free all the time with Rick James TV and get some of those behind-the-scenes interviews and some of the fun jokes that we crack, all it takes is a subscription. You can subscribe through Twitch, or with Prime Gaming, you get 1 free subscription. Why not make that Rick James TV? So connect your Amazon account with your Twitch account and get Prime Gaming, as Vols just gift. What in the hell did you just do? Holy crap. And Vols gifting 20 subscriptions. And now a 21st subscription. Vols, that's unbelievable, buddy. Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate that. But with Prime Gaming, you get free games and loot every single month. You get to download Battlefield 5, Last Horizon 2. Obviously, you get Prime shows like The Boys, Jack Ryan. You get loot for Apex, for League of Legends, for Fortnite. So much free stuff, and you get that free subscription to Rick James TV. So subscribe, let's stay ad-free together, and enjoy all the racing possible. Vols, thank you so much for gifting those subscriptions. I appreciate you, my friend.
We got to take care of the Wolf Pump guys. Fireball, Woody, and Trey. He turns out there. They come into the stream. The party follows me. Anytime I go on a stream, it doesn't matter if I'm on your stream, if I'm on just some random person's stream for the night. These guys show up. They show out. They come out, they support. I love it. I appreciate everything that they do. The Wolf Pumps guys are just the most amazing group of people I've ever worked with, and it's a no-brainer to give them a subscription out here to your channel.
Fletch Q24 Advanced Edition just following recently, and I absolutely just love that adorable Pikachu emoji. So keep the Pikachu emojis coming. I love you guys. Mike Honcho back at the front in the number 37 as Vols gifts another sub to Mama Vols. Thank you so much, Mama. Love you, ma'am. Thank you, Terry, once again. Welcome into the top 3, Mike Allen, and back into the fold, Mike Kinsley in the number 54. Let's bother Michael Allen real quick and see how his race is going. Michael Allen, one of the grumpy old men, Rick James in the booth. You got me, pal?
I got you.
You're leading this race, coming to inside 30 laps. Can you bring it home on the tires and fuel that you have?
I think I got pretty good fuel. I think my tires are pretty good too, to be honest with you.
Now,
I gotta be patient.
is it an inside or outside line afternoon for the 5 car?
I'd like to be down on that inside, but I'll stick with the outside. I think I can get down there.
The most important question I'm going to ask you all night, Mike Allen, what is your favorite flavor of pie?
Hell yeah, apple cinnamon, man.
You know what? That's a few people for apple, but I love the cinnamon. I just had a cinnamon fritter before I started this, so you and I are on the same cinnamon wave, buddy. It's a sweet treat, and I hope you get a sweet result, Mike. Best of luck.
All right, man. Thank you.
Mike Allen getting back to race now on the outside there in the number 5. The New York native starting at the front, gets the green flag, and we're racing again. .588.54, your top 3, Tristan Bailey challenging on the outside for the lead. The fans have spoken, Terry, and with a rousing 85% of the vote, they say that fruit pie is their favorite flavor of pie. Mike Allen still leading, Kinsley behind him. I love apple pie myself. Tristan Bailey's in 3rd.
Never disagree with the fans, but I will this time. Pecan pie is the greatest pie in the history of pies. But the grumpy old man, Mike Allen, leads this race. 54, caught up in a previous caution, finds himself P2. Here comes the 88, the points leader, the guy that everybody's been wanting to chase down. He finds himself right there, and the guy chasing him in points in the 22 is pushing the 9 down the front straightaway.
The 3 of Michael York now up to the 8th position, now to the 30 car of Brian Cross involved in that accident. Now on the back end of that top 10, he's got Herman behind him. Vols gifting a sub to T as well. Thank you so much. It's unbelievable stuff. And T gifts a sub to the Rick James community. That was T gifting a sub to More Than a Cape. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. 24 1/2 laps remain, Terry.
44 and a half laps go down here, and you see the runs that they're getting. They leave the 88 to the outside. Everybody tucks to the bottom. 88's going to have to hope to find a hole right there. He tries to find one with the 9, but he didn't get it. Jordan Bain is giving a good draft up there to the 9 car of Quinones. The 22, the 3, put the 3 up into the top 10. He's sitting in the 8th place position, but the 5 still holds this lead with the 54 behind him.
Coming out of the second corner, 54 in the second spot, 37 in third. Now Kinsley looking to the outside, slingshotting his way around the 5 of Mike Allen, but he's got no help heading into 3, which is so super necessary. Kinsley now edging that 5 car into the third corner, and he's got the lead. New leader, Mike Kinsley in the 54. Here comes the 5 of Allen. Caution number 7 is out on the racetrack. Caution is out. Who was the leader at that moment of caution? Terry, let's go back and have a look, see what brought out that yellow flag. This is Kinsley jumping to the lead here. We're going to slow this one down. I want to take a look at these caution lights and see if we can get a good... There it is. They're already out. So let's back this up here just a little bit. And it looks like that's the 51 of Kurt Swatsworth that's crashed. Let's examine the accident. And there was contact between Swatsworth and the 1 car, but it looks like it started with the 1. That's Shane, isn't it? Shane Swatsworth in the 1?
Yeah, Chad Swatsworth and Curtis Swatsworth, our normal broadcaster here for Turn Down for What, but he finally got to race one. Tough break for him tonight.
Swatsworth in the 1. I tell you what, Terry, it looked like it was just the bump. Swatsworth misjudges the bump going into 1, puts him down on the apron, and I'll tell you what, that 38 of Matt Boone nearly getting involved again. The 1 tries to collect it, and he gets into his brother Kurt. Bang! Right there through the corner. Shad's going to make it out all right, but Kurt is going to go around. That's going to bring out the caution, but now here's Kinsley in the 54. Who was the leader at the moment of caution? The lights are already on, so let's go back a little more and see if we can find out when these lights turn on. Let's go to the cockpit view. And I tell you what, I couldn't tell you, Terry. Actually, you know what? Never mind. It looks like Mike Allen was being scored as the leader here. They're coming down for tires and fuel. Vols gifts a sub to Repeat 1975, and that's 23 subscriptions that he's given out so far. Vols, your generosity is literally going to give me a heart attack, buddy.
You always have to pay it forward. You pay it to the guys that paved the way for you to get where you're at. I made the comment on Twitter, I get to call that amazing race tomorrow night with Podium Esports, and I never would be where I'm at today when it comes to the channel, when it comes to just streaming in general or being on iRacing if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for Repeat, if it wasn't for NNR, PSCS, Turn Down for What, all of these great homes that I have been able to call. And Pete said it best. It's always great to see people pay subs, and they pay them forward when they got them. I have so many gifted subs that come into my channel and come to me from across the community. I give them back because you guys are the foundation and the heart and soul of every Beating Vols fan, 88 fan out there, and I love every one of you.
You know what? We're gonna do the same thing here. I wanna gift a sub to one guy who's been there since day one. I really want to take it. It's exactly right. We want to pay it forward, and we want to take care of those drivers those drivers and those fans that really do take care of us. So that's what I'm going to do here. Let me go ahead and pick this guy out here. He's been here for quite a while, pretty much since day one. If I could just get this to work properly.
That's what all this streaming's about, man. It's not about the backdoor stuff. It's not about any other issue that you have with one another. We're all brothers, and it was such an honor to get the nod to come out here and do this race with you. Turned down for what's been one of my favorite places. I've never missed a stream. I love watching Curtis do what he does. That's the next up-and-coming broadcaster, in my opinion, and he's going to do such wonderful things if he continues with it. It's just a huge honor to be on your channel, getting to call this race, and how how special is it going to be? The threes leading this race. Michael York racing for one of the racers in here. Somebody had an accident, and he's racing that 3 tonight. And it's beautiful to see it out there with his buddy Brad Rivers to the outside.
Let's bother him real quick and see how he's enjoying this, putting that 3 out in front. Mike York, Rick James up top. You got me.
What's up, buddy?
Yorkie, you're leading this race with an incredibly special number 3 car. You've got 20 to go coming to the line. Will you keep it in front?
I hope so. I dinged up a little bit on the left front, but I'm saving that fast repair. I got it in the bank, so we'll see. 20 to go. It's time to go. No more riding around no more.
Who's your favorite drafting partner out there?
Whoever wants to stick with me. I don't have a certain name.
I got you, buddy. It's incredibly important out there, and that leads me to the most important question of the evening. Alpha York, Michael York, what is your favorite flavor of pie?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin. That's a good one. You know what? Is pumpkin a fruit? Pumpkin's a
Yes.
fruit, right? All right, fantastic. So that's another for fruit pies. Best of luck, Yorkie. Hopefully we talk to you at the end.
Thanks, guys.
Love talking to these guys.
They're amazing.
It's a hoot. I love talking to these guys. They're great.
I think I've teared up at least 2 times on the stream, but I started out racing the 3 at Daytona when I was racing in this league, but Rick James, 20 laps to go when they take the green. And, buddy, the green flag's out. Let's go racing again.
Off that 4th corner, 19 laps to go. Tristan Bailey now at the front of this race. Now he's got Brian Rivers coming to the outside in the 15. Michael York now sitting in 3rd, and now the drafting is on, Terry. They break apart into the 1st corner. 88-3-15 out of 2.
This is where you put all of your cards on the table. It's no more time for holding them and folding them. You gotta know when to walk away. You have to know when to dance with your partner, and right now is when you're finding them. Everybody's making the move. Everybody's finding the momentum. 88 went down the middle, 3 wide on his own. He holds the lead, 3 to the bottom. 9's coming here. Here comes the 15 to the outside, and it's 2 by 2 back from 5th on back.
88-3-9 up top. Rivers sitting in 4th. Josh Arnold in the number 22 card, now drafting behind the 15 of Rivers. Cars trying not to lose it, getting all too close. Terry, to quote our friend Repeat 1975, it's a hornet's nest out there.
It is a hornet's nest indeed. They went 2 wide, and at some point they went 3 wide. Here comes the 7 up to the 22. He's getting a run back here with the 5. Michael Allen, one of those old grumpy guys in his team name. He's pushing hard on that number 7. Drew Jua, OMA's favorite racer, up on the outside, trying to find his way to the front. He finds himself in 5th, and now he's looking for more as they go for the lead on the front straightaway.
Jua now on the outside. Tristan Bailey up top. Michael York has worked his way into 2nd. Enrique Quinones from New Jersey now on the inside. Here comes Jua. 3 wide for the lead, headed into 1. Jua strong arming around the outside. Blinking problems earlier in this race. Now he's got the 5 of Mike Allen behind him. Terry, they're 3 wide for 3rd out of 2.
They're 3 wide for 3rd, 3 wide for 4th now as the 3 finds himself in the vacuum hole. 7 takes the lead. Drew Jua goes to the lead. Here comes the 5. He drops to the bottom. Here comes the 54. He's down to 2nd as he's pushing the 5 to the lead.
At the front, Mike Allen leads Jua. Now Kinsley sitting in the 2nd position now. Here comes Bailey now coming up to 3rd. Jua stuck on the outside. Brad Cross in the 30. 3 and 4 wide, fanning out behind him. Here comes York side drafting like the man himself. Pete says he needs to restart 16th to complete the feat that Dale did to win his first Winston Million in October of 2000. Terry, Mike Allen with the sole lead in 2.
Mike Allen still holds the lead, 54 to his bumper. Here comes the 30 of Brad Cross. 88's going to challenge for 3rd, but it's no match right now. That 5 Chevrolet is getting a huge shove from the Starburst Toyota in 2nd. They're flying down the back straightaway 2 by 2 from 3rd on back. Rick, this is where the money hits the road. And here comes Matthew Boone up to the 4th place position.
Coming to 15 laps to go now. The 5 car leading this race. Mike Kinsley sitting in 2nd, Tristan Bailey's in 3rd. Still so much racing. 45 miles is what remains since we started this race. Cars trying not to crash out and keep their cars pointed in that right direction, Terry.
2 Chevrolets head the outside lane, 88-38. They're pulling it down the back straightaway as they go side by side for the lead. Here comes the 7 of Drew Jua, all Chevrolets, and 1 Ford to the outside. 5-car pack. Here comes the 3. Brad Rivers jumps down to the middle. They're 3 wide and now 2 wide for 4th.
So close, nose to tail through the corners. Mike Allen leading this pack out of turn number 4. Kinsley's behind him. Bailey now on the outside with help from the 38 of Matthew Boone. Involved in 1 crash earlier, nearly avoiding a 2nd coming out of that number 2 corner. Boone holding his own, Terry.
Matthew Boone in the throwback machine. He's all over the back of that 88. 15's getting a tail up there as well. Here comes the 2 of Byron Jones. He's a lap down, but can he play a factor? Can the MTC teammates in the 54, the 88, the 2, who do they go with? Who is their tango partner as they are shoving ever so aggressively down the back straightaways? The 88's going to take the sole possession of the lead with the 5 charging on the inside.
Tristan Bailey with help from Matthew Boone coming out of turn number 4. The sun gleaming off of that reflective number 38 Coca-Cola Chevrolet, now 3 wide for 2nd down the front. In the vacuum hole, it's Rivers pushing the 88 of Bailey, leading a cacophony, a hornet's nest as the 2 car tries to go 4 wide. He wants to get back on this lead lap. It's getting dangerous now. You can smell the gunpowder. The 5 car of Mike Allen leads. Tristan Bailey to his outside. Lucky number 13 will become a dozen next time by, Terry.
We can smell what the Rock is cooking as Rock's in the chat. He got a gifted sub, and now he's out there cheering these drivers on even harder than before. 88 takes the lead from the front bumper of the 15. That American paint scheme was no match. 2's going to give him a shove down the front straightaway. We're going to put 12 laps, a baker's dozen, on the field as here comes the 88 in front of the 5, 2 by 2 as we go down closer to the finish.
Michael York sitting in the 6th position. Chad Swadsworth behind him in 7th. Drew Jua, one of the biggest movers of the race now, almost getting clipped by the 3. Jua having to check up. He's got his teammate, the 77, right behind him. Your pick, Terry. Quinones sitting in 10th, still well within contention at the front. Tristan Bailey with a mirror full of 5. 11 to go this time.
These drivers, put the number in a hat. You can pick which one you think is going to win this race. Who knows at this moment, as they are all within a second of one another. Actually, 2 seconds, all the way back to 17th of Joe Tardif, as now we are 3 wide for 3rd. 3 wide, but only one person matters. 54-38 down to the bottom. They're pushing the 5. 88 holds this lead. 3 wide in the back of the field for 5th.
88, 538 on the inside. Here comes the 54 of Kinsley to the outside with just no help. The 15 and the 1 will go down to his inside. Here comes Michael York in the number 3 car, back up to 7th. York will trust Kinsley. They'll be on the outside drafting, but who will go with him? Down the front straight. Matt Boone in the 38 now to the outside. He comes down in front of the 88, but he can't close the door, Terry. Bailey and Boone fighting for the lead.
Bailey, Boone. Top 2 fighting for this win. 15's going to jump to the outside, 3 wide for the lead as they come down the back straightaway. 15 thanks twice. He goes back behind the 38, gives him a shove. They're drag racing here. 11 laps are on the board. It's time to settle it. 10 laps remaining as they cross this line, and it's 3 wide in the back, and there's a wreck in the rear.
Big crash behind him. That's the 39 of Carnathan who's gone into the wall. That's Carnathan that's been involved. Another car behind him. That's Brad Herman who's been involved. Big crash, and we're going to restart inside 10 laps to go. We will take a 60-second break to ensure we're ad-free to the finish. Before that, let's have a look at what brought out this caution. You can already see Stan Carnathan in the 33 car involved there. Let's go back and have a look. Herman also involved doing pirouettes at a turn number 1, and it looks like that started with Herman. I've just hit the live button. I always do that. Okay, let's go back, take a look. Oh, that's the 85 of Herman who's already in trouble, Terry. We're going to take this one back a little more. And it looks like the 85 made contact with the 54 car in turn number 1. Let's get a really close look here. Here's the 85. I believe that's a TJ's team car on the outside of the 3. And indeed, it looks like the 85 just misjudged it, got into the 54. He's about to be collected by the 33 of Carnathan.
It just looked like netcode to me. I mean, on the screen, he didn't really get too much of that quarter panel right there. But yeah, and a TJ's team car actually missed the owner of more than a cape.org. The 82 was up against the wall, and another close call for Travis. And Travis actually finds himself, I believe, in a very good position right now to potentially walk out of here with a great finish.
The points leader, Tristan Bailey, at the top of the show right now, coming to 8 to go. Fans at home, we're going to take a 60-second break, and we'll be ad-free all the way to the finish. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the conclusion of Turn Down for What, round 14, when we come back. Tristan Bailey leading this race. Let's get a word from Tristan, see how he's enjoying his show so far. Tristan Bailey, Rick James up top, you got me?
What's up?
Tristan, you're leading this race, coming to 7 laps to go. I feel there's still a couple of cautions in the offering. Do you think you can bring the TJ's Team Chevy to the front and stay there?
Sure hope so. I mean, it all depends. The Highline's the most dominant, obviously, if you've seen it all night. If you're on the bottom, you just lose too much time. But hopefully, with this restart, how everything goes, hopefully we can get the win for them.
We spoke to Michael York, and Yorkie said that it was going to take some drafting, and he didn't know who he could trust out there. Do you have any drivers out there that you can count on to draft with in the final 6 laps?
Honestly, probably not, because everybody's pretty much by themselves. I mean, maybe Michael Allen, because he's not a selfless. He's the most, what's he called, selfless?
Selfless, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, because Boone and Rivers was trying to pass on the high side, and Shad, I'm pretty sure he's hungry for a win, because I don't think he's won yet. And then Kinsley, he's here just to win too. You got Brad Cross, Brew Tua. So I mean, all this depends on how the lines file out here.
Coming to 6 laps to go, the most important question that anybody's going to ask you all night, Tristan Bailey, what is your favorite flavor of pie?
Pie, key lime.
Key lime, another one for the fruit pies. All right, man, good answer, Tristan. We're going to let you get back to work. Good luck, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Key lime pie, huh? You know, I've never had key lime pie.
Actually, really good. It's probably in my top 10. I'm a big key lime guy. That's why I enjoy the Baja Lime Raise Energy.
You've had a thing with Raise Energy for a while now, haven't you? Through Rep Sports?
I have. I actually need to send you some. After the stream, you need to send me your address, and we're going to get you hooked on some of this. Energy, all the energy in the world with no sugar, and it doesn't really make you crash. I mean, it helps you, it replenishes you, and yeah, I'm sitting here sucking one down right now. Actually, it's giving me the energy to call this race.
No, I'll tell you what. I went to my local GNC and I tried a Raise Energy. I love the flavors. I think the green one is supposed to taste like sour gummy worms or something like that.
Yes,
Tastes
yeah.
fantastic. I actually really do like Raise Energy, so it's pretty good before I go to the gym. But right now they've got me hooked on these like actual Sour Patch Kids flavors energy drinks that are really good.
I like it. And Fireball Woody said out in their chat, "Where's yours?" It's at James's house. Go to your son. He has it.
All right, Woody, so don't go just now, Wood, because we're going to go to 6
now.
laps to go here. Oh, no way. We're going to go to 6 laps to go. The pace truck peels off. Round 14 of Turn Down for What has come to this. Get on the edge of your seat and go nowhere. 18 miles to decide it. Green flag is out. $15 more miles to go, Terry. Tristan Bailey leads Matthew Boone down the front.
Bill leads the 38 down there, but here comes the 5 and the 15 to the outside. He talked about the guys that were here just for a win, just for the payday at the end of this race. There's no points for most of these dudes. 54 doesn't care about points. Neither do some of these one-off guys. As the 5 comes charging to the outside. Here comes the 5 and the 15, battling down the back straightaway for the lead. Mike Allen, your new leader, the sole leader with the 3 to the inside, 3 wide for second.
Brian Rivers behind him, Zumbi cheering for Wolf Pumps. Bailey trying to keep his race car pointed in the right side. Is he jumping? Is he kicking way too early? Are there too many laps left? The 88's going to try anyway. Now on the outside of Mike Allen, just edging him for the lead. 12 miles is all that remains. 3 wide for second into 1. Here comes Boone, Terry.
Here comes Boone to the bottom. They separated that 5 really fast as now the 1 goes
There's
around.
a wreck.
1 spinning in front of him.
Big wreck. Michael York's been involved. There's another big one there. 4, 5 cars caught up in this one, and you just saw it coming. Green, white, checkered now, and too many cars to count. Oh, man. And, well, as Pete says, Terry, what is it? A hornet's nest in turn number 1. Let's go back and see what happened. Let's slow this well down because the 1 of Shad has already gone around. You can see on the left side of your screen here. And it looks like it could have been contact from the 30. Let's go to the back end of Shad's car. So we're going to go to the back end of the 1 of Shad Swatsworth. We're going to get a real close look here. And is it contact from the 5 or the 30? It's the 5. It's the 5. But I'll tell you what, Terry, that close with that many laps remaining, you don't back up at that point in time. You go for it.
Oh, you're not lifting. You're not lifting at this point. You don't care if the person in front of you checks up 2 or 3 rows up. You're going for the win. People say it's aggression. People say that it's the fire and the energy that brings you, but you don't come out here to finish second. I tell people this all the time. If you wake up with a second place mentality, you're only going to finish second. You wake up every morning for a race day, especially with these guys out here right now. They see the checkered flag. They see the win. They want that mentality. They want the win. And what better way to beat the points leader right now than to go up there and be aggressive? There's no lifting, no back down, no quitting these drivers. And now we're going to see who has that fast repair left over because a ton of really fast race cars just got knocked out.
I'll tell you one driver who did. We spoke to him earlier. The 3 of Michael York said he had a fast repair, so we'll see if the number 3 Good Wrench car comes back out for the win. Tristan Bailey currently leading in the TJ's team, number 88. Matt Boone sits in second. Mike Allen riding around in third. We're going to have that green-white checkered restart. Repeat says way too aggressive. Bama Trama with shocked faces. Rock NASCAR 388 says maybe it's net code. Really, who knows? One thing I do know, as the Chevy Silverado, I don't even know. You know what? I think they took the Chevy logos off the front of that Silverado. I can't tell, but that it is a Silverado. I don't know who they think they're fooling. The Chevy Silverado pace truck leads us around. Terry, your pick, Enrique Quinones in the 9 car. Back up to the 10th spot. He's leaving pit road with some damage on there. And the 3 of Michael York, he's out. Not a scratch on the Good Wrench Chevrolet. This guy here with a clean bill of health. So many drivers we can still pick to win this race.
And Repeat said he wanted him to go from 16th. Well, he's sitting in 17th right now, according to our scoreboard. So could we have a 2000 Dale Earnhardt special, and we get to call that? I know as broadcasters, we didn't start broadcasting just because we woke up to do it. You know, we followed people like Bob Jenkins. We followed people like Alan Beswick. We could call something special right here. People just don't know it. A lot of people don't really follow a lot of NASCAR. I know Mama Vols doesn't. We could be calling the 3 to the front, from 14th to the win. Mike Allen, an older guy, to a win. Mike Kinsley, Jordan Bain, Joshua Arnold, OMA's Drew Jua. A lot of good cars and a lot of big names are up here in this top 10, and it's a crapshoot for this green-white checkered, man.
Got to give a big shout out to the legend and a man who, for me, is one of the reasons I love racing and broadcasting. Growing up as a child, Bob Jenkins was that voice that you heard. You would wake up a Sunday morning and you would listen to Bob Jenkins accompanied by Benny Parsons. And my NASCAR was Ken Squire, Mike Joy, and of course Bob Jenkins. My first video game was NASCAR 2000 on the Nintendo 64. Bob Jenkins and Benny Parsons were the figures in that game. They were the broadcasters of it. And for me, that was a voice that made my NASCAR childhood. As I got older, I branched out into IndyCar, and I learned more that Bob Jenkins was more than just a NASCAR guy. He was a legend at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and then by extension, I learned about Paul Page. I learned about the art of broadcasting, and I learned about truly how much fun it is to be so passionate about racing, and you get to deliver that passion. We are, as I recently heard, we are the lyrics to the melody of racing. And for my money, there are no more than 4 people in the history of broadcasting that I consider to be as good as the lyricist that was Bob Jenkins. Coming to this green-white checkered, really it's more than just my own personal tribute. It's a thank you to Bob Jenkins for his service to motorsport and for writing the words to a very beautiful and thrilling childhood. Thank you, Bob Jenkins. We love you, Bob Jenkins. This restart's for you. 2 laps to go, Terry. Green flag is out. Let's settle it.
Yeah, green flag's back out for this entire race. We've been silent on this lap, but you can't be silent. 2 laps remaining. 88's going to hold this bottom. 5's going to be down there below him. He's going to push him. 38 is going to be to the 88's outside with a very hard-charging 85. Brad Herman's tucked into the back bumper of that 38. Here we go to the back straightaway, and we can settle it here. Here comes the 38 to the outside for the lead.
4.5 miles remain in this race. Matt Boone leading Tristan Bailey to his inside. Round 14 will come to a last lap pass at the iRacing Superspeedway. Boone leading in the Classic 38 now has sole possession of the lead. Cards washing up the racetrack behind him. 2, 3, and 4 wide for position. Fanning out of the fourth corner. No crash yet. It's a race now. Bailey to the outside. 3 miles to go.
Biggest mistake the 38 did was leaving the 85's bumper. Now the 85's pushing his MTC teammate to the lead to potentially the win. Here comes Jordan Bain. Here comes Joshua Arnold. 85 to the bottom. 28's going to go with him. 85 takes this lead. Here comes Joshua Arnold to third. Can they pull it off without wrecking? 85 gets a shove from the 28. 88, 48. Oh, the 3 wide for third.
Bain in the second position coming into turn number 3. Brad Herman leading into this third corner. Will he lead out of 4? Arnold to the outside in the 22. Mike Kinsley falling back in the 54. Jordan Bain with one more shot. Now looking on the outside. He's going to the outside line. Coming down to this line. Bain in the middle. Bailey to the outside. They wreck coming to the line, and it's Josh Arnold who wins round 14 of Turn Down for What at the iRacing Superspeedway. Can you believe it? In the words of Mike Joy and Darrell Waltrip, have you ever?
No, I've never. Joshua Arnold. Oh my gosh, where did he come from? That was an incredible move. He said he was going to be Angry Pa if he got wrecked for the win. And J-Pa is one smiling SOB at this moment as Michael Kinsley pulls out second. Brad Rivers completes your top 3, but that 22 is smiling right now.
Congratulations coming from Drew Jua in the 7 car. Let's go back and have a look at this checkered flag. The 7 of Jua offering congratulations as Arnold will come down in celebration. Donuts for the Steve Park livery number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang and a well-earned celebration. Let's have a look here. Coming to this line, Honcho's already crashing down the back straight. So coming to the checkered flag, there's Swatsworth, who's already gone for a ride here. Let's, okay, so we're coming to this checkered flag here. Let's see if we can have a look from Arnold's point of view. He's sitting in third. So coming to the line, it looks like the 28 of Jordan Bain. Look at this. Look at that. The 85 car of Brad Herman comes up for the block, goes up too heavy. Jordan Bain almost comes down on the 22 car. Let's go back one more time, and I want to sit in the cockpit of Josh Arnold and listen to this. Listen to the throttle. See if he lifts when the 85 comes across his nose. Now out of 4.
Oh my goodness, that just made my heart skip a beat.
Let's have one more listen there. I didn't hear the 22 car lift. You can see the 85 goes to block the 28, and that cost him the win. One more listen out of 4. And that's all she wrote there. Josh Arnold getting the win in the number 22. And what a finish at iRacing Superspeedway. Fans at home, sit tight. We're going to have podium interviews in just a moment. Drew Jua saying that race was really fun. Duct Tape fan saying congrats 22, wishing the 19 had been there through your rock. NASCAR thinking the 22 a little aggressive, but what an ending. Congratulations from NNR Bowling. Repeat 1975, Bama Trama. Let's start with third place driver of the number 15 Star Spangled Ford, Brad Rivers. Great bronze medal finish. Did you think you had a podium coming into this race?
On. I had to use my fast repair, and I just full sent it after that, and just prayed for the best, and able to come out with third place. I'm happy.
Congratulations on that third place, man. Excellent finish there. Is there anything you could have learned tonight that you'll take into next week, or was it just so much chaos, not much you can learn from it?
A lot of chaos, but I'm sure there's a lot to learn now, because if we just be a lot more patient and work together, I think it could be a lot better without those cautions. But overall, I'll take third place. I mean, good win to J-Paw, and overall good race. Thanks for broadcasting.
My pleasure, Terry. You've got our silver medalist tonight, Mike Kinsley.
Ooh, Mike, man, you wasn't running for points tonight, but that 54 Super with the starburst all over it really made me crave some sweets. How in the heck did you manage a second through all the chaos?
Try to keep my nose clean and push on the outside anytime I could. First and foremost, man, today has been crazy. My wife's uncle, he's in the hospital and possibly paralyzed, so this race and this run was all for him. But it was a good race. I tried my darndest to get up there and get past J-Paw with the final laps. But good win to him. Congrats, and great broadcast. I'm sure I'll go back and watch it tomorrow.
Well, you got caught up in the earlier wreck. We saw you in the 33. You were pushing very heavily on the outside, but when you became the push-E, you couldn't really handle it. How did you bounce back from that early incident to find yourself in the silver medalist spot?
I never even touched him whenever I was pushing him. It was just, you know how you have that bubble between the bumpers. I never pushed him, but whenever we got on that front stretch, man, he gave me a hell of a shove, and he gave me a heck of a shove and put me right in the wall.
Well, congratulations on your silver medalist position. And Rick James, you have the happiest 22 in the field tonight, Mr. J-Paw.
Josh Arnold, what a fantastic win. You sit on top of the HMG Innovations podium. The white flag comes out. The 85 and the 88 are throwing haymakers at the front of this race. Did you have a chance to win it?
I mean, I was going to try. I made it. Well, I thought I was making it 3 wide there with like 2 to go, but looks like I was making it 4 wide. But I have to thank Q-Dog Enrique for being behind me, giving me a boost to get by that little pack there and get in position behind the 85, the 88, the 28, and it was just kind of like a musical chairs for those top 4 there for a few laps, and coming to the end, and I went up high going into 3. Boehner came up. I swooped down low. I really was going to try to go in the middle 3 wide, the 85 come up, and I wasn't going to slow down. And so I just tried to pull to the left as quick as I could so I wouldn't hit him, but I did. So I do not like that, the way that looks, because I mean, coming to the checkered, 3, 4, 5 wide, nobody's going to lift. And I had, I'm not saying that he tried to like hardcore block me, but it was just at the last possible second, and I pulled it to the left. And I think when I did that, it did tap his bumper and took out Boehner and the rest. So definitely hate that happened there at the end. Thank goodness they still got top 10s, got a lot of points tonight. But no, I mean, I don't know if you remember early in the race, we were under caution. I'm sitting there in the top 5, and then all of a sudden, under caution, I get wrecked. I know you saw it, but I had to take the fast repair right there. There was some very tight moments that, I should maybe not have made it out of the wrecks alive, but somehow I did. Somehow I was there at the end with the clean nose, and I made it. I made it happen. Like I said, I really hate how it was. I'm not that aggressive of a driver. Maybe on plate tracks I am, as you can see. I mean, I went hard to the left whenever he started coming up in front of me. So,
You made it happen.
but yeah, I mean, I enjoy the plate track racing. I try to be in the right spot at the right time, and that's what it takes
You ended up
to
getting
be.
absolutely, J. Paul. You ended up getting that W there. Either way, it put on a fantastic show. The replay shows it was close racing at the end. Points wise, you're still in third with the most, tied for the most wins amongst top 7 in drivers. The gap between Tristan Bailey at the top, Jordan Bain in second, now 58 points, only 58 points headed into the next 2 races, the 2 final races of the season. You only find yourself 65 points behind the lead. We'll see you in 7 days' time at Bristol, my friend.
I appreciate you coming out, Rick James. Really, really do. I know this was last minute, but I mean, it takes a lot to put on one of these things as good as you do. So I really appreciate you stepping in and helping us out.
My pleasure, a labor of love. Go celebrate your win with the rest of your team, Josh. Congratulations again.
Thanks, Rick.
Terry, what a way to end the night. What a way to cap it off, my friend. Thanks for coming through tonight, man. Thanks for sharing the booth.
It's always a pleasure to share a booth with you. I can't wait. Great warm-up race. I almost pooped my pants calling that finish because it was so wild. But what an amazing ride here at the iRacing Superspeedway. These turned down for what, guys? Put on a marvelous show. And like you said, we are the musicians writing and singing the lyrics for what they are putting on the paper, and no better than to hear your voice tonight.
Another fantastic another fantastic chapter of Turn Down for What racing in the books. MK Gaming congratulating J. Paw. Thank you, Rock NASCAR. Congratulating everybody as well. And of course, you, the fans. We cannot do these races without you subscribers, and you make our experience so much greater. So send me a DM on Twitter. Let me know what I can do to make your subscription a little bit more worth your while, for your enjoyment and for the experience of everybody. But until the next race, repeat saying great broadcast. Thank you, buddy. I love you, man. Take care. Until the next race, fans, everybody, do please take care of each other. Stay